everything's going amazing right now at the company. I mean, it really is. A lot of people think that the reflection of the stock trading going up, going down is a reflection of what's happening with the company, but it really isn't. We're in a microcap environment. We're in an environment where people buy shares, they take a profit, they sell shares, sometimes more buying than selling. At some point as we start, producing more revenues, things are going to become unified. Then there'll be fundamental revenues that back up the price of the stock. Right now, we're still transitioning from a story stock to a fully operational fundamental company. So people have to understand that there's an amazing opportunity today as much as existed when the stock was 2 pennies a year ago, and not even a year ago, a penny a year ago. So people have made a lot of money on this stock. And now, and there's people that say, God, I wish I would have bought it when it was 10 cents or 12 or 15 cents. Well, now you have the opportunity to do that. So we're going to address all your questions. I don't know, anything else you want to ask?
I think where the company is at now, we're kind of within seeing distance of completing both of our major revenue generating assets, which are WeTV, which we now have a ton of content for, as well as Greenleaf Farms, and getting really close, within seeing distance of being able to be cash flow positive with both of those assets. So, I think the company is better positioned now than it has been in years.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And if you're, I think now was the time to be bullish on the company, whereas, maybe 6 months ago it was actually a little premature. But now we've kind of worked out all the kinks, and we're kind of right there where we can see if this is going to happen in the next few months.
Yep. So anyway, please, anyone that has any friends or family or other business acquaintances who are shareholders of the company, we are going to tape this. We're going to rebroadcast it. Please make sure you share it with them. We know this isn't the most appropriate time for everyone. Some people have regular jobs they're in and couldn't watch this. So anyway, thank you for your time, and we're gonna go ahead and start here.
Okay. So the first question that we have, are you selling any flour at this time? You mentioned 1 gram bags, but no one knows if they're actually being sold in dispensaries. Quick answer to that, yes they are. We are selling flour. We have it in so we've sold to about 6 dispensaries so far. Not all of them have been flour. Some have taken primarily rosin, but we do have flour in New Amsterdam and Shingo, a few other dispensaries in town. We still have a lot of flour on the shelves, so we can continue to sell it. And we've been a little judicious about who we were going to start a relationship with.
Yeah.
Because we do have a limited supply for the next few months. Until phase 2 is open.
Yeah, we want to make sure we do have some premium flour, stuff that we bought, from other cultivators. It was part of what we bought to get us compliant. And, we don't want to just sell someone premium flour without them taking the rosin too. The rosin is really an upcoming market in California. Everybody knows what rosin is because it's a mature market. In Nevada, it's still getting up to speed, which is, anyone that doesn't know what rosin is, it is the most purest form of THC or CBD that you can actually consume, because it's just simply a hot press process with just heat and pressure. Throw away the flour. You don't have any plant material that you're smoking. It's really healthy for you, as much as healthy can be.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we're, being so close to the California market, we're in kind of a weird place where the customers coming in, because you have a lot of Californians driving here on the weekends and stuff, actually know more about that product than the dispensaries here do.
Exactly.
Because it's, we're kind of educating the Nevada market. So.
And also from a profit margin standpoint, there's a lot more profit in rosin than there is in flour. We can actually take flour. If we were sold at flour, say we might only double our money. If we press that into rosin, we might triple our money. Just don't take those exact numbers, but different percentages of flour yield different percentages of rosin. Some are higher yield, some are smaller yield, but there's the balance is you make more money in rosin.
Mm-hmm.
So
how much of the originally purchased marijuana is left, and is the market reacting positively to the rosin products? Actually, I just completed a physical count of inventory for the close of last quarter, and I can give you some stats on that. We have about 200 pounds of frozen plant material left. Yeah, fresh frozen.
That's going to be made into a cold water hash product, which there's none hardly available at all in Nevada. We think that's going to sell like crazy.
Yeah, we'll be the only supplier for the time being, at least. Then we have about 160 pounds of premium flour buds left in the warehouse, and another 100+ pounds of trim shake, so we can make pre-rolls and other things out of that. And then we've squeezed more than 5 pounds of rosin that we still have in inventory. Now that's all pre-packaged and into half-gram packs. So when you think about 5 pounds divided up into half grams, you're talking about thousands of units sitting around that in total is worth in excess of 6 figures.
Yeah.
So a lot of inventory on hand that we're looking forward to moving through the end of this year and into the beginning of next year.
Let's see, we have what dispensaries, we named some of the dispensaries, Top Notch, Acres, you didn't mention those.
We have an order going to Acres this week, I think.
Yeah, again, we are limiting the amount of people we're actually selling to intentionally because it's about the relationships and where we think strategically we're going to have the most shelf space as we expand with which partners.
Right.
So.
Right now we're in Essence, Pisos, the Apothecarium, and a lot of these places have multiple locations in Vegas, so it's actually a bunch of dispensaries. New Amsterdam, since New Amsterdam doesn't have their own cultivation, they're kind of looking at us to become one of their primary suppliers, and that's a relationship that's going really well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question is, describe a realistic timeline for phase 3. Guess what? I'm not going to. Look, every time we name a timeline, we fail miserably on it when we have to count on other people. If you want to tell us when we're going to produce a video and get that out, I'll give you almost the exact minute because we have full control of that. One of the things that we've learned is when dealing with contractors that have multiple subcontractors that deal with multiple suppliers, that every single dot, even just our example, even our cold water hash, we've actually had the machine for 2 months now, but the machine has to pass through the state, even though it's a food grade machine. And there's all kinds of things that need to be submitted of how was this machine made, what material it's made. I mean, the regulations and the gridlock you're dealing with the local agencies of North Las Vegas, the state agencies, the contractors, is just, it's just beyond words. I mean, it's not in our hands. We would like to think very positive and bullish that things are moving as fast as we can, but there's always a lot of things.
Yeah, I think most of the delay is way beyond the contractors, because when you think about the marijuana industry, this is a regulated industry, so it's not like putting up a McDonald's, which you can do in a couple of weeks. This is more like building a power plant. So in terms of the amount of regulation, different agencies that have to come in and inspect everything you do. So you hammer a nail, 9 inspectors have to come in and look, from city fire department, city planning department, all these different departments. Sometimes even the regulators will conflict with each other, and hashing all that out is kind of a long-term project, which is why this isn't like a weekend project that you can put up a marijuana facility.
Absolutely. We'll go backwards from phase 3 now to phase 2. Same reason why phase 2 has been delayed, but I will tell you right now, phase 2, we finally have all the equipment, all the fabrication of the HVACs and ducting and everything are finally done. It's just being installed right now. We're literally on the home stretch of phase 2. I want to tell you, on the earliest 2 weeks, on the latest 4 weeks, we're going to be done with everything right about 2 weeks from now. Whether we get people in to inspect and do the certificate of occupancy and all the other stuff that we need to say we're rubber stamping it, that's out of our hands. But I will tell you, we are using phase 1 as a ramp-up stage for phase 2. Phase 1 was really never intended to be a produce flower for the market. It was really intended to be our cloning system, our genetics, our mother plants. We have 65 or 68, somewhere in that area, really healthy mother plants of 18 different strains, amazing strains running from high CBD medical strains to Chocolope, which is a Thailand sativa that's got very high THC. They're really, really healthy plants. One of our sponsors, Easy Clone, provided us one of only 30 units in the world. Most of them are universities. Only 5 are actually at facilities like ours, and we're honored for them to allow us to have this $11,000 cloning machine. But also, it's capable of doing 660 clones at a time, and it takes literally only 7 days to have a full root system with this technology. We do have somewhere around 380 clones that are now plants about this big. They're not even clones anymore, that are ready to move into phase 2. Once we have more than enough flower and plants to move into phase 2, we have more than enough strains and varieties. Some people are making gossip that all of our plants died. I don't know where that came from, but it's not true.
Yeah, I think the Easy Clone machine is really amazing. When you go over there and look at it, not a single, you put in these, pieces of existing mother plant, and not a single one of them died as they grew into clones. So our ability to generate clones far exceeds the space that we're ever going to have, because every 7 days we can create 660 new clones. That's creating new plants is definitely not going to be a problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And they call them weeds for a reason. They grow really, really fast. So we're not, even though phase 2 is delayed, we're really not really losing anything, because we have the inventory to move into it. I would have loved it. I had revenue off of this thing in mid-January. It's probably going to be closer to later February, early March. But, nevertheless, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's a new business, a new industry. They're adding 60 more dispensaries next year. If anyone's read the reports on Nevada is now, in the first month of sales. Do you remember what those exact numbers were?
It was 27 million sales?
27 million, doubled Colorado. Now, think about this. Colorado's got 550 dispensaries and over 700 cultivators. Nevada has about 80 cultivators and 50 dispensaries. So think of the amount of revenue that's being distributed per individual business. When we do have this up and running, in a few months down the road, our revenues are going to be staggering for a single standalone business. We're going to go from literally zero to, to $500,000 a month really, really quickly.
Yeah, I've run the numbers, as you've seen, of what we can expect to generate just from the phase 2 build out, and we're looking at more than $600,000 on average in monthly revenue. So that's quite a bit, and the profit margin is pretty substantial too. So despite all the taxes that are in existence, and the way you account